this is the piece that commonly fails on these 3.6s. So this is what you're going to be replacing. I got this kit right here from O'Reilly's. This was just a hair over $200. This is from Mopar, so it's original equipment. And you're just going to be taking that old one out, putting the new one in. All right, here we are. Here's our 3.6. We're about to tear this thing down, and we're going to put that oil system strainer and everything in there, the oil cooler, and get this thing fixed to where when you crank it up, it ain't pouring oil out of it like it was previously. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start by taking the battery loose. One clip. Starting to take it apart. This hose right here, taking this hose off. Popped all my clips off for my air breather. And then all your little sensors, you just want to pop them right there off. And by removing them, you just push down on this piece right here, push it in and pull it out. There is that harness right there, out of the way. Right here, I'll go ahead and pull this vacuum line loose, just let it hang out of the way. Now, all these lines right here need to be removed as well. And here with the breather box, just slides right off. So just push it. And what you're doing is pushing it out of this hole. Now you have your throttle body right here. All that's open. Now, to get this hose loose and this hose loose right here, it runs up to the back there. There's that one right there. Just move it out of the way. Alright, take that one loose. So there's those two right there. If you look here, you have this section right here with this top radiator cooler line, and it's got to come loose from that intake right there. So just pull it straight up, and it'll come straight out just like that, and then you can just move that out of the way. Okay, now that this is out of the way and this is out of the way, right down here you have a little wiring harness. You can pull it out of this little bracket, and right there is the bracket. Right here, you want to take that bracket off. Okay, I lost a little bit of the footage there taking the bracket off just now. Just take those upper intake bolts out through the top, and there's also two little bolts there on the very front, so you'll also have to go ahead and pull those off. Once those two are out, you can start to wiggle that intake loose and pull it directly off. And then, presto, off with your upper plenum. Okay, now you want to go ahead and take your fuel lines loose and your fuel rail off. Right there is what you use right here to take your fuel. Okay, when taking this off, you want to push it in. Once you push it in, pinch each side, and then you can pull it straight out. Just like this. And then slowly wiggle it. Boom, there's gas everywhere. And right here, we're going to take these little wiring harnesses loose here on our coils and just pull them out of the way. Now if that's done, you have your injectors. You'll need to go ahead and take those loose as well and pull it straight up to release it, just like that. Then once you've done that, you can push in the top of the tab and slide it right off. So this red piece right here, you're going to pull that red piece straight up and then push the tab and pull these off. Okay, there's your wiring harness. Just sit it out of the way. Now you have this exposed, and then my 5/16. Okay, now that this part right here is exposed, your intake, you can go ahead. I've already taken that loose, and take every one of your 5/16 bolts out. All right, now that all those are loose, just pull up and you can actually take your whole lower intake and injectors out as one assembly. And there you can see the gaskets and everything. And set this aside because this needs to be cleaned up before putting back in. Now there is where the problem lies, right there. That right there has got to be removed. This is the piece that commonly fails on these 3.6s. So this is what you're going to be replacing. I got this kit right here from O'Reilly's. This was just a hair over $200. This is from Mopar, so it's original equipment. And you're just going to be taking that old one out, putting the new one in. When you made it this far, you need to make sure you get rags, ball them up, and you want to stuff them down in the intake channel right there so that no dirt or anything can get down in there while you're working, because anything that falls in here will go straight down through the valve into the piston and could damage the piston or the cylinder if it's something hard and can't pass through. Okay, now that's pretty much it, getting it all taken back apart. Now once you're putting it in, make sure you inspect all your hoses, make sure there's no rot or no damage. Put them in, then pretty much get them bolts torqued down. Make sure you have your clips fully connected. You don't want to have to pull the intake back off once you've got it on. Make sure you pull those rags out of that lower intake channel as well. You don't want to leave those in because that would be very bad. Also ensure that you've cleaned all the areas, clean your intake, and replace all your gaskets, which will come in the kit. Then once you get all your bolts for your lower intake torqued down, after that you can go ahead and get your fuel rail and your fuel line connected. Once that's connected, you can go ahead, get your wiring harness popped back into place, your coils, and then you're pretty much all set from there. Then you can go ahead and start getting that intake panel put back on, get that torqued down, and then it's just down to rubber insulators, air breather box, and getting all the wiring connected. But once that's ready, go ahead, crank it up, make sure you fill it up with oil filter, and wish for the best. So let's go ahead and see how it does. Here we are, we're putting in our oil. I'm using O'Reilly's full synthetic 530. Everything is done. The camera went off, but it already had a filter in it. I just plugged in a few little plugs here, put everything exactly back where it's supposed to be, put the hose back in, and now I'm just going to fill it full of oil and hope for the best. All right, my lovely assistant's going to crank it up and let it run for about 5 seconds, just enough for the oil to circulate. And I'm going to check down there and make sure it doesn't leak. Looks like we have a winner. Now I can check the oil and then fill it back up And then she's ready to rock. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate you viewing the channel. Don't forget to check out some of my other videos. Subscribe, like, and comment, and share it with all your friends. Thanks for watching.